I can eat some candy. Nigga, this shit ain't healthy. Nigga, hold just text.
I really just got done with the other video. It ain't been 2 minutes yet. I already found another video. Whisper Diaries. I don't think I react to him as much, but I'm finna start. I gotta find new people to react to and new shit to react to. Not gonna lie. And I ain't even ordered my pizza yet, so yeah, this might be a quick video. Not gonna lie to y'all.
I'm an older guy in my late 40s.
Dang.
For work, I'm part of a team that travels across the country to train employees at our company.
I know he makes
the company pays for our travels to hotels, and while sometimes it does somewhat feel like a vacation, usually it doesn't. When traveling, we have to work long hours and basically spend the entire day in the office, leaving us just enough time to sleep at the hotel before waking up and going back to work. I was on one of these work trips and had been at a hotel for a few days. It was a Saturday night when I got out of work and got back to the hotel a little past 10. I walked inside and got in the elevator. The whole hotel was quiet. There wasn't anyone walking around in the lobby and nobody in the elevator. When I got to my floor, I stepped out and began walking down the hallway, but at the end was a person. They were standing right in front of my door, or at least it looked like it, but I was too far to tell for sure. As I approached, the guy noticed me and walked away, going inside a room a few doors down. I got to my door and went in, wondering what he possibly could have been doing. I was sure he was either outside my room or the room next to mine, but I figured it had to be the other room. I forgot about it after a couple minutes and took a shower, then got in bed. I had another long day of work tomorrow, so I wasn't trying to overthink anything right before bed. I fell asleep, but woke up multiple times throughout the night, hearing someone walking outside my room. I even thought I heard them knocking once.
I really don't go to hotel.
I wasn't sure if it was in my dream or if it was real.
I'm shut the fuck up.
I got up in the morning, still tired, and went to work. I didn't get back to the hotel until late, I think around 9, but at least it was earlier than the previous night. When I walked up to my room, no one was in the hallway this time. I tossed my work bag on the couch and got in bed, but decided to watch some TV before sleeping. I reached for the remote on the nightstand and turned on some random show. I don't remember dozing off, but I must have really quickly because I woke up just before 10 to the sound of my phone ringing.
Oh, damn.
I looked over at the nightstand, but as I gained more consciousness, I realized the sound wasn't coming from next to me and my phone wasn't even on. I snapped my head toward the closet next to the TV, and then the ringing was suddenly silenced. A cold chill ran through my body as I saw the slight movement of a shadow from the crack between the closet doors.
That smelled like a
I
lawsuit.
jumped out of bed full of adrenaline and ran out of the room, going straight to the stairs and running to the front desk. They called for security, who came a few minutes later and went into the room to search. And after 30 seconds, they came out holding a man. The same man I'd seen in the hallway before.
Oh, hell no. What type of creepy shit is that?
I couldn't believe he didn't try to run away, but they said he was still in the closet.
He gotta be dumb or homeless.
As far as I know, the guy had no idea who I was or anything, and didn't give any specific reasons as to why he broke into my room and hid in the closet. Knowing he was sitting in the closet at the end of the bed, probably watching me through the cracks, makes my body shake. I guess he was just crazy, but it terrifies me to think about what could have happened if his phone didn't ring.
We all know what would happen. We all know what was gonna happen.
Subscriptions are you paying for? Rocket Money finds sneaky or forgotten subscriptions and
KJ. The my initials.
I lived in a small town in the mountains just outside of Salt Lake City for several years in my early 20s. During my time living there, I took up a job at the local hotel. I say the local hotel because it was the only hotel in the whole town.
Damn.
It was very small and family owned, so nothing nice or well established. Almost nobody visited the town, aside from seeing friends or family, because there was no other reason to be there.
Hello.
Anyway, this happened when I was 23 and working the overnight shift at this.
Hey, have y'all ever seen Vacancy? Look it up. It's by a hotel. Not No Vacancy. It's a No Vacancy 2 on Tubi. Y'all got Tubi. Look it up. It's called No. It's one called No Vacancy. That's a whole nother shit from I'm talking about. It's shit called Vacancy and Vacancy 2. You know what I'm saying? It's on, I don't know, I forgot what the first one on. It should be on Tubi too, but it's about this couple go to a hotel, and the people that's in the hotel, they watching them and shit, all that type of shit, and they try to kill them through the whole movie.
Since it was so small, having 12 rooms total, I was the only worker there during the night. I was sitting in the lounge room,
12 rooms, y'all need to
just off to the side of the main entrance, when I saw the headlights of a car shine through the window as they pulled into the parking lot. I put my phone away and got up, not expecting anyone to check in tonight. I stood behind the front desk, waiting for them to come in. After a couple minutes, I was getting impatient and went back on my phone. Probably 30 minutes went by before someone finally walked through the doors.
They're trying to get their sneaky link right.
It was a man, looking around the same age as me, but he looked really tired. I welcomed him in.
Looks like you've had a long day of driving,
I said, trying to start up some small talk, but he didn't respond. He pulled out his wallet and took out cash.
1 room, just for the night,
he said. I got him to sign in on the sheet and gave him the key to room 4, which was down the hall on the first floor. The man went straight to the room, bringing nothing but the small backpack he had with him. There was nobody else staying that night, so it was just me and him in the building. I knew he was probably just passing through and was tired from driving, but his attitude gave me an uncomfortable sense. Not to be creepy or anything, but I looked at the sign-in sheet he filled out and noticed he didn't put a last name, only an initial. His first name was Daniel, too, so it was about as generic as it could be. The hotel has never needed these sheets before, though, so having them filled out was pretty much pointless.
Yeah.
I went back to the lounge and sat down, putting headphones in and watching a movie I had downloaded on my phone. About an hour in, something caught my attention. A muted thump came from down the hall, making the floor vibrate under me, like something had shaken the building. I took one earbud out, and just a second later, another thump came. I stood up and walked quickly to the end of the hall, seeing nothing. I knew it had to be the man, and my first thought was that maybe he had knocked something over or broken something by accident. I walked up to his door and knocked.
Sir, are you okay?
I called out, but there was no reply. I waited another few seconds, then leaned my head closer and listened more carefully.
And them numbers, what the fuck? 112 and 135?
The other side of the door. He was standing there, trying to be quiet. It really creeped me out, so I backed away and went to the front desk, staying more aware for the next little while. The rest of the night went by without sound or issue, but in the morning when checkout time came, he never came up to the front desk. There really wasn't any rush, so I let him have an extra hour before I began wondering if he'd even planned to leave. I knocked on his door, but there was no answer. Eventually, I got the spare key and unlocked the door, but it still wouldn't open. It would barely even budge, and I ended up having to call the owners. When we finally managed to force the door open, we found that the room's dresser was pushed in front of the door to keep us out. What we didn't find was the man. He wasn't in the room, but I never saw him leave the hotel through the only entrance and exit. His car was still in the parking lot too, which made it all the more confusing. We looked around the room some more, but didn't find anything else strange aside from the dresser that he used as a barricade. I think I actually would have been less creeped out if we found other strange things, but seeing everything else look normal just gave me chills. We never found out who the man was, where he went, or what he was doing at the hotel.
It's probably best if you don't find out. My God.
Last year, I went on a long 10-day road trip.
What the fuck?
It wasn't to any single place. I just drove in a big loop, stopping at 5 or 6 different cities. I actually didn't book any hotels in advance because I wasn't sure exactly how long I would spend in each city, or where I would want to take breaks during the drive.
Pointless ass
So I was relying on hotels allowing walk-ins. The first 5 nights, I was able to find decent hotels on the course of my drives, but the 6th night, I ran into some issues. I was driving between cities and felt my eyes getting heavy around 11 p.m. I wanted to keep going and get to the next major city and then sleep in a parking lot or something.
Just going around.
But there was no way I could make it when I was so sleepy already.
Riding around for no reason.
I pulled over and contacted a few big-name hotels that were on the way, but none of them were accepting walk-ins at the time.
Imagine.
I was getting nervous, thinking I might have to park on the side of the road and sleep, which was obviously dangerous. But then I saw a sign for a hotel 10 miles ahead. I drove until I reached the building, then parked by the front. The hotel was small, looking more like a motel, being a single story with a bunch of rooms. There were a few other cars in the parking lot, but it was mostly empty. I got out and went up to the reception desk, asking the woman there if I could have a room. Luckily they had one available, and she gave me a key card. I got my bag from the car and brought it to the room.
That shit look ugly.
It was really outdated, but for the price, it wasn't all that bad.
Fuck that.
Only a minute after I went inside,
I ain't staying
there
no.
was
I
a
ain't
knock at the
sleeping in no
door.
shit. I'm not sleeping on no.
I walked over and opened it a crack just to see who it was. There was a man mumbling something to himself, and right when he saw the door open, he pushed into it, trying to force himself into the room while still talking to himself.
He would have been talking to
I
himself.
put my arm out and stopped him, preventing the man from fully entering.
He would have been talking. He would have been talking.
He stopped talking and looked up at me.
He would have been talking to himself hard. Soon he.
After a second, he turned around and walked away.
He would have been gasping for air.
I made sure he actually left, then locked the door. It was really weird, but I didn't feel too threatened because I was sure it was just some crackhead who was lost. I stayed up another 15 minutes, then fell asleep. A couple hours into the night, I woke up to a knock on the door. I was immediately irritated, knowing it had to be that man from earlier. Having learned my lesson, I put the chain bolt on the door before cracking it open. It was a good thing I did, because the second I unlocked the door, the man rammed into it. He started yelling random sentences that made no sense. I backed up right away and called 911. The man didn't let up though.
Should did that the first time.
He continued slamming into the door, trying to break in. A minute into the chaos, the man shoved a knife between the door and tried cutting the chain.
Are you with her?
There was no way it could cut it, but it definitely horrified me to know that he had a knife with him.
Hey.
The yelling, banging, and cutting went on for several minutes before it went quiet.
I got some shit that gonna hurt them
Police showed up a while later, but the man was gone. I don't know what was wrong with him, or why he wanted to get inside my room so bad.
Why you ain't called the motel?
He definitely had some bad intentions. It may have just been because he was drugged up, but breaking into someone's room with a knife is horrifying.
And you dumb as hell for not calling the police.
All it takes is one wrong move, like answering a door or leaving it unlocked, for someone like him to take advantage. I don't think he had something against me personally, but I still have this feeling sometimes, like I'm being watched.
Man, your bitch ass nobody ain't watching your bitch ass. Come on, be for real, man. And why the fuck is you riding around anyway, just spending gas and money and going one big ass loop? You ain't going to no specific place, you just riding. You just a dumbass, just riding. And then ain't got no gun with you. Like, no protection. To be a grown ass man. Me personally, you're a dumbass. I don't give a fuck if I'm going to a hotel. I ain't never really just stayed in a hotel by myself, but I always have, you know what I'm saying, my shit. So some shit like that happen, y'all would definitely hear about it, because I'm gonna post about it on my YouTube. Post the news and everything. Show y'all I ain't bullshit. Anyway, give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, see the motherfucker in that video. Let's ride, nigga. Give me the 5K. 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 Give me a thumbs up. Make sure you hit the video with a thumbs up. Thumbs up, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be my thumbnail. Let's ride, nigga.